guys, this is Matt and Scott, Stout Sportsmen, and we are doing our Lake Fantasy Fishing Show. What's
Yeah,
up, Matt?
not too much. I don't know. Excited to have another tournament coming up here. So I don't know. I mean that last one seemed like it was a couple days ago, but as time is flying.
Yeah, yeah, this one's full of question marks.
Yeah, a lot of question marks, and I also think I, a lot of people I think are going kind of local heavy.
Yeah,
That's kind of where I'm looking at. So
yeah,
be
I
interesting.
got I got a few.
I think a lot of it too because it's not an unknown fishery necessarily, but it is a question mark for a lot of the guys. So
Yeah,
I think that's why, like myself and a lot of other people, are going to go quite heavy on the localish guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into our picks, I want to say thank you to all our viewers. Our last video was probably our best viewed show so far this year. So
Mhm.
thank you. Hit like, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into our picks.
All right. A group,
All
I'm going to go ahead and go first.
right.
Um, I'm going with the ultra local favorite, in my opinion, um, David Gaston, currently 3.9%. Him and Will Davis Jr., I'll say, I mean, they're both from Silicaga. Not
Yep.
sure on the pronunciations. Should be pretty close, but both of those guys, I mean, they're roughly a half hour away. So these these two guys are going to get they're going to get to sleep in their own beds at night, and I think that kind of goes a long way.
Yeah. As long as they don't Brian Knew It, they'll be all right.
Right, you're right. Pull the Wick Murray Brand new. So who do you have?
Well, I stayed in Alabama and I went with Kyle Welcher.
Mm-hmm.
He's been having a pretty good season and he is not the favorite in this group. So
Yeah, I mean, well, you got Canterbury 20%, but obviously Brandon Cobb is absolutely killing it this year. I totally understand him pulling 23+%. I get it.
I, I don't know. I kind of stay away from that angler of the year kind of thing
Yeah,
just because you don't know how much experience he has there, and just because he's done good this so far this year doesn't mean he's going to do good this tournament.
right. Yeah,
So
but it is tough to look at those stats. Four top tens.
yeah,
That's but like you said, sooner or later, the odds are going to catch up to him. So
yeah, and it's fishing. If it just,
right.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. I
there's
mean,
it's not like you're shooting 3-pointers
right.
or scoring
Just
goals.
just to get somewhat off topic real quick here. I fished out on the boat for the first time Saturday, and Ann and I went out. She caught two, pretty much right in the same area. Dropped her off. She had to go do something else, so I went back out for a couple more hours. Back over to that spot, I caught one fish, and this is a place that I've caught thousands of fish. Some days you just scratch your head. I
Yep.
don't get it. All right. Anyway, B group.
All right, B group. Um, we talked about this before we went on
Mm-hmm.
live or recording, and I went back and forth. I had some of the guys you were looking at
Mm-hmm.
in my lineup, and then I ended up on Brock Mosley.
Okay.
They're going to
I don't.
be
Yeah, I don't
jig
dislike that.
fishing, and
Yeah. Okay. I like that. We were talking. I was talking about Chris Johnson. I was just a couple of guys. I was pulling up random stats. So click on Chris Johnson, and I think out of 50 tournaments in Bassmaster he's moneyed 49 of them, which is absolutely ridiculous. And his brother was at like 47 out of 50. But anyways, it was between Chris Johnston and Jake Porosnik, and I went with Jake. Um, I, I got a hunch, and I don't know. I think that wacky rig may still be a little bit deadly, even
yeah,
this part of the spawn, post spawn or post spawn. but I think he's going to do well.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Mosley and Perasnik for us. C group. This is, I'm kind of stuck between two guys at the moment. I am with Joe Webster, Alabama, low percentage at 2.0. My other guy, if I do switch over, would probably be Justin Hamner.
Yeah.
Although I think Justin's more up toward, I think he's up more toward Pickwick. But
Yeah.
he should have
Still
some
not
good
area.
experience down there.
Yeah. So I went back and forth on this. I had Brandon Lester in there.
Yep.
G-Man was in there for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And then I ultimately landed on Seth Fighter.
Okay.
Time for him to turn it around.
Yeah.
Jake fishing.
For 4.9%, that's a good pick, I think. I really like the Swindle pick, but at 33.5, I don't think it's enough to go with him. Like if he was 50, 60%, I'd feel comfortable maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. There's a lot of good names in this group.
Yep.
I shouldn't say names. There's a lot of good anglers in that group.
There's a lot of names in that group.
Yeah, there's a lot. All right, D group, go ahead.
I went with a local, so I guess somewhat local. I went with Josh Strassner. 9%. And I don't know. I just didn't like any of the other 4 guys ahead of him in percentage.
Yeah. I also went with Josh Strassner. The only other person that really piqued my interest was Wes Logan. But if you guys have heard me in the previous videos we've done this year, I'm trying to stay at that 7 to 8% or lower, unless it's like a stupid obvious pick like Brian New at Murray, which crashed and burned. But yeah, so I'm going with Strassner.
I did have Buddy Gross for a minute, and then I don't know. He's been down this year, so
yeah, I love that. I agree.
I went somewhere else.
No, nothing wrong with that. Justin Atkins, I think, could possibly be a decent pick here. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't
But
know. It's
but if you look one top 50, he's not fishing well.
nope.
So never mind that.
He hasn't fished well for 3 years now. So
Yeah. All right. E group. Man, we're ripping through these today, aren't we?
yep. That's because we don't know that much about the lake to really give much.
Right. That is true.
Do you just want to say it together? Will Davis Jr.
Will Davis Jr.
Will Davis Jr.
46.1% currently. It is.
Oh, you need to refresh or something then, man. He's at 47.3.
Maybe I haven't refreshed it since I set. Yeah, you probably have been looking at me like, where the hell is he getting these numbers from?
Actually, most of the other ones are pretty spot on.
Okay. All right, 47.3. I don't know. To me, it's a no-brainer.
Well, if you look at the for me, if you look at
possibly he's Alabama. Heron isn't a bad pick, even though Heron's fished not well this year.
Yeah, I mean Keith Boucher hasn't done good for me this season.
No.
Brian New's been Brian New in it.
Yeah.
Matt Heron hasn't been good. David Mullen hasn't been good.
Yep.
Just go with Will Davis Jr.
Yeah, I mean he's on a bit of a hot streak. You know, he's fishing very well. What doesn't make sense to me, E group, he's got 1,018 points. Okay, now go to A group. Go to the bottom. How's Clint Davis get thrown in there in A group with 409? I mean, Clint Davis should do well here. He's on my Drain the Lake because he's an Alabama guy, so he should have decent experience on the Coosa. But I don't get it. Why?
I understand that they want to have some action, like somebody who's really a Clint Davis fan and is like, hey, let's just put him in A group. But that's just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't expect them just to go take the first 20, 25 guys, A group, in the rankings and then all the way down, but that seems a little unfair, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
Weight. We talked about this a little earlier, but I originally started out at like 73.7. That was just like a spitball I threw out there. I really had no idea. And earlier today, I've knocked it down to 68.2 to try and be a little bit safer.
73.5.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it could be 65, it could be 80, 85. Probably not, but anything's possible.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a big question mark.
yeah.
But at this, to me, at this time of the year, for those posted out spawning fish, those things are going to be long and skinny. That's my opinion.
And I don't think Lay Lake's known for big fish anyway.
Right. Lots of 2 and 3 pounders, occasional 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Anything else you want to go over? You want to cut this one short?
Yeah, we can cut it short. Keep it
short and sweet. Keep everybody interested.
I guess drain the lake, just keep it to Alabama.
I'll run through mine real quick. All these are Alabama guys. Josh Strasner, Poche, Matt Herron, Justin Hamner, David Gaston, Clint Davis, Canterbury, and Justin Atkins. There's going to be a couple bombs in there, but yeah. Hopefully one of these guys will win. Gaston.
I went Canterbury, Kennedy, Bryant Smith, Kyle Welcher, Swindle, Will Davis Jr., Clint Davis, and David Gaston.
That's a solid line. That's a better lineup than mine. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm at the shit house right now. 111.
111.
11.
That's still not bad. It's not bad at all. I'm 34.27 on Drain the Lake.
I will say I was 42 after like 3 events.
Mm-hmm.
So lost a little bit of ground, but starting to turn it around. For just a regular, I made it to 60%. 13.277. So I made up ground.
Good for you, because my regular fantasy fishing, I'm ranked 14,871, 55.2%. Abysmal.
Well, before this last tournament, I was below 50%. I think it was like at 48 or something like that. Wow. I did pretty decent.
I think at this point in the season, though, it's hard not to, especially in the regular fantasy fishing, it's hard not to gain rank or percentage overall, because there's a lot of people that forget to set lineups and get disinterested. So naturally, we're going to rise. Should.
I forget what it was, but at the beginning of the year, like even after the first tournament, there was like thousands of teams that never even put a lineup in.
Yeah.
So.
Huh. That's weird. Why would you do that? Or wouldn't you do that? Yeah. All right. Well, takeoff, obviously, Thursday, going through Sunday. Takeoffs are 7 a.m. Central Time. Weigh-ins 3 p.m. Central. Yep.
Pretty typical.
Yep. So get your lineups in if they're not. Remember to remind your wife to put a lineup in.
Oh, I told her we were shooting a video tonight. She goes, "Oh, it's this week?" I was like, "Yep."
Mm-hmm. So, yep.
We'll remind her on Wednesday, and then maybe Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday at like 4 in the morning.
Thursday morning before I leave for work.
Right. All righty. Appreciate you guys stopping in to watch the video. Like and subscribe if you're not. Throw us a comment if you want. Anything to add, Scott?
Nope, not really.
All righty. Well, appreciate it. Come back for the next one, which will be
Sabine
Sabine River, Texas.
in a
In what, a
couple
couple weeks?
weeks.
Yep.
I
All
think it
right.
is.
I'm Matt with Stout Sportsman. He's Scott with Stout Sportsman. Stay
Yep.
stout. We're out.
Yep.